Greetings, my name is Brother Andrew Mohammed, aka The Investigator. I run a company called Attitude Determines Altitude, and we do workshops across the UK dealing with three main elements, which are called the SIM, S-I-M, success, identity and motivation. We also specialise in dealing with African boys and girls and teach them something about their African roots and their history. We personally believe that Black History Month or African History Month is vitally important because it's a stem, a seed that we flow into and grow into a massive oak tree. We believe that it's a starting point. Many people may say that we don't need Black History Month because obviously Black History is more than a month. And these are the kind of things we're coming here to debate and discuss today. Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Awula Sewa and I'm involved in African history. We run African history sessions. I do that with Kwaku, and I believe that African history is important. It's part of world history. Of course, if world history was being properly taught from an African perspective, obviously we wouldn't need African history month or whatever we want to call it. The reason why we have it is precisely because we seem to have a coin where we focus only one side of the coin and we neglect the other side. And because of that, African History Season is an opportunity for the world to know about the history that has taken place and that continues to take place.
Greetings, my name is Neil Mayers. I'm the author of a book called Gifted at Primary, Failing by Secondary, which is a manual for Black parents to make sure that their children achieve at schools. Director of a company called Raising Black Achievement. Basically what we do is we go into schools and we train teachers and support parents to make sure that Black children achieve at school. And we also produce resources to make sure that that achievement happens, and most of them are Black history resources. My personal opinion on Black History Month is pretty much similar to my opinion on Valentine's Day. If you're in a relationship and your woman feels like she needs Valentine's Day, then you've been doing something wrong in that relationship. So, in this country, we're in a desperate need that we need Black History Month because there's none going on during the whole rest of the year. That's my personal opinion as to why we need it so badly.
Hello, my name is Nosai Benadian. I'm a filmmaker. I made the importance of Black History Month the documentary, and I'm currently working on a new project which is called Oya, Rise of the Orisha, which is basically a film which takes ancient African gods and resurrects them as superheroes. I think that it's essential to learn about history wherever you're from, and I think Black history is important to everybody. But a counter-argument is that the education system itself is so distorted at this moment in time that when it is taught in schools, it may not be taught in the most productive way. Question?
So, what, in your opinion, what is going on throughout the rest of the year? Because if people say we don't need African History Month, what is actually going on throughout the rest of the year, and what organisations are actually putting out information?
Well, I can definitely say NABSS, NABBS, and I think the panelists along here will be able to tell us a bit more about other things as well, because they're all different things which are beneficial to Black history.
Question being, what's going on in what's going on in schools now?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. My experience has been that Black History Month is always passed over. What they would tend to do, if a school feels that they need to do something for Black History Month, not something that's institutionalized within the school, if they feel that they need to do something, or they've been forced to do something, or they've been asked to do something, they'll focus on musicians, or they'll focus on athletes, or they'll focus on, I think they've got like a big three, which is Mary Seacole, Martin Luther King, and Harriet Tubman. Those are the three safe people who are quiet, who will not cause much of a stir. And the same issue as to why they're not being taught black history is the same reason why education system in this country as a whole is flawed anyway. Because if you start empowering people in that way, they then start to challenge the system that they're in. So if you teach a child to start thinking critically, then they're going to start critically analysing the system that they're in and telling you how it should be done properly. If you empower a black child in a school, then they're going to start critically assessing not only themselves and changing the way in which they approach school, but they're going to start critically appraising the people who are delivering the education, the so-called education, to them on a daily basis. And that's just dangerous.
What I would say is that what's happening every day of the year is that we are in control. We're at least in control in our homes. And I referred to a book that Paco and I produced, which is called African Voices, Quotations by People of African Heritage. And one of the contributors, Dame Jocelyn Barrow, put it very well. It is our responsibility. It is our responsibility to educate our children, to learn about who they are, and give them a sense of identity. Nobody can stop us from doing that. So we have to claim the power for ourselves and do that every day of the week. Having done that, obviously, we also needed to reverberate in other places. But I think it starts with us. It starts with us, what we do in our homes every day of the week. We don't need to wait for African History Season to do that. We also need to challenge the schools, find out what's going on, challenge school, become school governors, and make sure that the schools teach the right thing. And I'll just very quickly say that in Harrow, for instance, we made sure that African history was not about singing and dancing, but was about history. And we made clear whose history it was. Because normally when we use the word black, sometimes the political black is used. So it could be the history of people of non-European heritage. So we made sure that we meant the history of people of African heritage.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. To me, that says it all. Because, you see, I'll be honest with you, I've been in this struggle for a number of years. And many a times, what we do, we point the finger at other people not teaching our children correctly. But remember this, every time you point a finger, there's always three fingers pointing back at you.
Absolutely.
It's our responsibility. And if